Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are talking about Black Beacon. Now, Black Beacon is a new game that is due to launch on April 10th. Pre-registration is now live, so make sure you jump over and pre-register. Now, I do have to give Black Beacon a massive shout out for sponsoring this video. And if you do want to pre-register for the game, I will have the link in the description below. But like I said, it is releasing on April 10th, and we are sitting at the 750k pre-registration mark. We need to hit that 1 million to guarantee ourselves that final 10 pull, which is really, honestly, you guys know me as the re-rolling sweat lord, and 30 pulls on a reroll I'm pretty happy with. We get a free character, we get a skin, and a bunch of extra resources through there. But definitely go and pre-register for the game. Like I said, we're in a bit of a dry patch for games, and this is coming at a perfect time as something else to play, and I am looking forward to this one. Now, what is the game? I have played a little bit of a test build, and I will have a more in-depth video going through gameplay and stuff like that on the channel very soon. But this one, I just want to let you guys know about some basics around the game while we take a look at some of the trailers. Now, the game is an action RPG, but it does something that I really love, and that is it has like an almost strategy type game feel to some of the abilities. So with some of the characters, when you're going through their combo, it's very hack and slash type thing. You got your base attack, which generates, I'm going to call it energy because I suck at terms in games. And then you're going to go ahead and consume that to use other abilities. You've got an ultimate and all that sort of stuff. But with some of these extra abilities, they're not just abilities that you tap and it happens. You can tap and hold them, and they're sort of like telegraphs. For instance, one of the characters has a scythe that you can hold and aim, and then she will throw that scythe, and then when you use that skill again, she can teleport to it and then go ahead and do a slash. So you have those strategy type things. And for me, as someone who likes more strategy games and I like that kind of gameplay, I really loved the implementation that they've done of this into an action RPG, and I thought it was really fantastic done. Once again, we will go deeper into that sort of stuff in another one. Now, the other thing the game does have is a very deep story. Now, for me, you guys know me as the guy who just wants to play the game. They do have a skip button, which is much appreciated. However, they have a really cool implementation in the story because, yes, I did play through the early parts of the story. Not going to give you guys too much spoilers, but it's very in-depth, and it's one of those ones, if you want to get into the story, I think you'll really enjoy it, but you do really need to pay attention to what's going on because it does deal with time travel, dimensional type stuff, and all the crazy concepts that you've really got to get buckled down at the very start of the game so you don't get lost later on. But they have the 2x speed for the story as well, which for some people, you may not care about having 2x speed on the story, but for me, I am someone, probably shows in the how people always tell me I talk too fast, but everything I watch on 2x speed, at least anything on YouTube or anything like that. So having the 2x speed there was actually really, really nice for me to be able to get through it without having to, feel like the dialogue's a bit too mundane. It's all English voiced, which is another massive tick in story for me. It has cutscenes, which is a massive tick for me as well. But like I said, they did this unique thing where if you're playing through the story on 2x speed, if there is a very important moment in the story that comes up, you can actually, the game will actually put it back to 1x speed to sort of emphasize that this is something that you should probably pay closer attention to understand what's happening. And I thought that was a really cool implementation because I'm that guy who, I'm just happy to listen to it in the background while I'm walking the dog or something like that. And then if it slows down, it goes, okay, this is the bit I've really got to lock in for. And then you can keep going through it like that. But like I said, the story implementation, really good. I'm not too deep into it, so I don't know the full breadth of the storyline, but it's pretty intriguing in the early parts. Anyway, a lot of mystery, a lot of guessing what's going on and trying to figure out what's happening. Now, let's jump back over in and talk about the gameplay of the game itself as well. So it's, like I mentioned, an action RPG. And lately we've been seeing a lot of open world action RPGs. And for me, this game, it's a massive tick in my book. It is an instance-based game. Now, some people love open worlds. Me personally, they are just too tedious, too time-consuming, and very mundane to keep going back, trying to have to go around an overworld. That is my personal preference. So when I saw that this one was instance-based, being that, you got your hub screen, if you want to go into a campaign stage, you hit that menu, you go into the stage, then you warp into the stage, and then you're doing straight into the combat. You're not mundane walking around different places, trying to get yourself into combat, which I absolutely love because, like I said, I feel like I'm busy, but it's not really that. It's just that I don't want to sit at my computer the whole time and have to play a game. So I'd rather be able to, do the little clippets without having to get around. So I loved that aspect of the game. The character designs are absolutely fantastic in this one. And when you get into the story and you learn a bit about who the characters are and their sort of overarching theme in the story, the designs actually feel a lot like even better past that because of the whole concept of who they are and what like their operation in the tower and the world and stuff like that. So I think they've done a really, really good job of nailing the character designs, both in the visuals and the aesthetic, but also on top of that in the gameplay models. Now, I've played through about 4 characters so far, and they all play very different, very unique, and like I said, very, very fun with some of those telegraph type things. And for someone like me who, when you're going through the action combat hack and slash, maybe you're a bit older like me and you're a bit slow, you can hold one of those telegraph abilities, if nothing else, just to slow down time, give you a bit of time to think where the enemies are, think where you're at, and just catch up. But like I said, I really do enjoy that sort of telegraph type play. Now, it doesn't completely freeze time, it just slows time, which honestly works pretty well with the thematics of the story where you have like the time. I'm not gonna time travel, time fluctuation. It's really complex, and I'm really enjoying the story. But it does fit in well with being able to stop time to the actual story of the game. But like I said, this one is coming out on the 10th of April. And I'm completely here for it. It's something that we can really just dive into, have a bit of fun. Don't worry, guys. I will be checking out the rerolling on the test build, and I will definitely let you guys know, because maybe we even jump into the hell of doing a reroll stream. But like I said, this one does a really good job. Really enjoying it so far, early days, and we'll definitely dive in at launch and see how it goes. But once again, they are sitting at 750,000 pre-registrations. If we get to that 1 million, we do get an extra 10 pool, which is obviously going to be something that I would like to have. So guys, please go ahead, use the link in the description and go ahead and register. And once again, I have to give Black Beacon a massive shout out for sponsoring this video. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.